Hello, dear children. Now we are in this lecture video number 5 of chapter called Cost and Revenue Analysis. Okay, so in this lecture, we will discuss about the revenue concept. Okay, so without wasting time, I want to start the discussion. So I hope you have your books and copy in front of you. By the way, anyway, so what is revenue? By revenue, we mean the receipts, or in terms of accounting, we call it sales proceeding. Okay, so by selling uh, various types of goods and services, whatever the firm achieve that money, okay, or gets that money or receive the money by selling the goods and the services, that is called revenue. Okay, so in simple terms, it is the receipts of a firm through sales. Okay, and revenue are of three types. Number one, total revenue. Number two, average revenue. And number three, marginal revenue. Okay. And we already know the concept of total, average, and marginal. So I don't have to repeat the same thing again and again. So let us have a look at this total revenue out here. Okay. So it refers to the total amount of income received by the firm from selling a given amount of its product. So basically, TR is equals to P into Q. So where P refers to the price per unit and Q, that is the quantity of output that is sold. Okay, the total quantity that is sold by a firm. So this is how you can achieve the TR, that is total revenue. Okay, so whenever you calculate TR, you are actually referring to a point of time. Okay, it is not over a period of time, but it is actually for a period of time. Okay, for your better understanding, you can refer it to be a point of time. Okay, for example, in a particular day, um, a firm sold 600 units of good. So now 600, that is the total number of goods that is sold, okay, of just one day. Okay, so 600 into, let us say the price per unit is 10. So 600 into 10, it's equals to 6,000. So this 6,000 refers to the total revenue of the firm for a particular day. Okay. Now, what is the average revenue? So if you divide total revenue by the number of quantities that is sold, you get the price per unit. That is, this price per unit is also known as average revenue. Okay, so remember that AR is also it's equals to P. Okay, so in that example which I gave you out here, okay, that is 600 units into that is price per unit. Okay, so the total revenue was how much? 6,000, and the number of quantity sold was 600. So how much you will get? Average revenue 10. And what was the price per unit in this example? It was 10. So average revenue and the price, they are same. Okay, don't get confused. Now what is marginal revenue? Now, marginal revenue is the addition to the total revenue resulting from the sale of one additional unit of the product. Okay. Now, let us go back to the same example. Okay. Total number of goods sold was previously in that example, it was how much? 600 units. Okay. And the price per unit was how much? It was 10. Okay. So now the shopkeeper was about to close the shop. Okay. And also about to close the books of accounts. So at that point of time, one customer approached and asked for an extra or additional unit of the product. So he will sell one unit. Okay, he will sell one unit of the product. So the price per unit was how much? In that example, it was 10. So his total revenue will be how much? 6,000 plus 10, that is rupees 6,010 rupees, isn't it? 6010. So this obtain this addition to the total revenue is known as the marginal revenue. Okay, so 6,000. So this is your total revenue. Okay, so this is your total revenue. 6,010 minus 6,000 will be how much? 10 rupees. Okay. Uh, this MR can also be calculated by the change in total revenue by change in total quantity. Okay, so you can alternatively you can calculate MR this way also. Okay, just like we found in case of MC, that is marginal cost. Similarly, this concept can be applied out here also. Okay, it is the same concept, okay, that has been applied out here. And remember that this change in total revenue, this change in total revenue by change in quantity, it represents the slope of total revenue. Okay, just like in case of marginal cost, it used to represent the slope of total cost. Okay, in case of marginal cost. Okay, now in case of marginal revenue, it represents the slope of TR, that is the total revenue. Okay, and you can calculate the corresponding MR in any level of TR. So here, this is your thing. Okay, so this is your TR curve. Okay, this is your total revenue. It has been referred to as TP out here. Please don't get confused. It is TR. So at any point, if you want to calculate, so graphically you can use this and calculate MR corresponding to the number of the quantity that is sold. Okay. I hope this total revenue, average revenue, and marginal revenue is clear to you by now. Okay. So now let us try to understand the behavior of TR, AR, and MR in two different market conditions. That is perfect competition and imperfect competition. Okay. Let me just tell you in brief about the perfect competition and imperfect competition. Okay. Now, perfect competition is a type of situation uh, which is basically hypothetical situation. Okay, because it doesn't exist in real life. Okay, so it is a type of market condition uh, in which the homogeneous goods are sold. By homogeneous goods, we mean such type of goods which are of the same size, okay, quantity, quality, okay, and the price will also be same. Okay, that is the type of market which is known as perfect competition. Okay, and in this market, there is a free entry and a free exit of the number of producers. Okay, any number of producer can enter the market and exit the market. Okay, we will understand this perfect competition situation in the next chapter, market. And I have previously sent the PDF also of the market morphology. I hope you have gone through that PDF. So basically, perfect competition is that situation. Okay, always remember that there is one price prevailing in the market. Okay, the price of all the sellers will be same. Why the price will be same? Because the uh, goods sold are also homogeneous in nature. Okay, by homogeneous we mean same size, shape, quantity, and quality. Okay, and remember, in a perfect competition market, uh, cost is actually the price. Okay, cost of goods sold is actually the price that prevails in the market. Okay, so we will discuss that particular situation in great detail, okay, afterwards. And let me talk about the imperfect situation. Now, imperfect situation can be monopoly, duopoly, okay, oligopoly, and monopolistic type of competitions, which actually exist in the real life situation, in which the products are not homogeneous. The products are heterogeneous out here, okay, in imperfect market situation. And the prices also they vary, okay, along with this, the shape, size, quantity and quality of the goods that is sold also varies, okay, they differ. However, they may look similar to each other, but the feature wise they will be different. For example, let me tell you the this mobile phone industry, okay. So we have Samsung, Oppo, Vivo, OnePlus, this Motorola, we have Nokia, okay, Realme, iPhone. Using all these phones we can make phone calls, we can use WhatsApp, okay, but feature wise they are different. Price is also different, okay, shape, size is also different, isn't it? So this is the situation of imperfect competition, okay. Now let us understand the behavior of TR, AR and MR under perfect competition market, okay. Now we already know that AR is the average revenue, okay, TR is the total revenue and MR is the marginal revenue, okay. Now AR remains constant at all levels of output because AR and market price we have already seen, okay, through this particular formula, okay, they are same in the perfectly competitive market situation, okay. So AR and the price which prevails in the market, they are same. Hence, AR remains constant at all levels of output that is sold. So here you can see out here, this is the price, okay, that is the MRP we can say, okay, maximum retail price inclusive of all the taxes, okay, and this is your quantity that is sold in the market, okay, this is your TR that is P into Q, and this is your AR that is TR divided by Q, okay. So TR, it remains, AR, that is average revenue, it is equals to the price of the product in a perfectly competitive market situation, okay. And MR also remains constant because the additional price uh, of the product that is sold in the market will also be constant. Why it is constant? Because in a price, in this market, in this perfect competition market, the products are homogeneous, okay. And if you are selling any type of extra number of goods, okay, extra unit of output, if you are selling, you need not change the price because the price will not fluctuate in perfect competition situation, okay, the price will remain constant. Hence MR is also constant. So we can say that AR is equals to price, which is also equals to MR. So AR is equals to price is equals to MR. We can see from this table that you can see this is your MR, the table of MR, I mean the column of MR, okay. So see, MR is constant, this is 15, and AR is also constant, 15 only. So AR and MR are, they both are equal to each other. Hence AR is equals to MR and AR is also equals to price. So we can say that price is equals to MR, okay. So how will the this TR curve, AR curve or MR curve will look like? This is your curve, okay, which also reflects the demand curve. So here we can see that MR is equals to AR is equals to P, okay. So this horizontal line, okay, horizontal line which is parallel to the x-axis represents MR, marginal revenue curve, average revenue curve, and the price line or the budget line, okay. And this reflects the demand curve facing a competitive market, that is a perfect competition market, okay. But now how will this TR will look like? So this TR looks like this. Okay, again I want to repeat that this is your TR. Okay, so this is TR. Okay, so TR curve is a positively sloping straight line from the origin. Okay, remember that this TR will start from the origin, signifying that when the number of goods sold is 0, when the output is 0, TR is also equals to 0. Okay, so when the number of goods sold will increase, TR also increase. So there is a positive relationship between the number of goods sold and the total revenue. Okay, and remember that TR curve, it starts from the origin. Okay, signifying that TR can be 0 when number of units sold is also 0. Okay, I hope this is also clear to you now. Okay, now let me just explain this in brief about this TR. So TR changes with change in output sold. Okay, remember, and there is a positive relationship between the TR and the output sold in the market. Okay, so there is a direct proportion. Okay, so with increase in output, TR also increases. We can see this thing out here. Okay, so with number of units sold, TR is also increasing. Okay, now let us try to understand the same situation under imperfect competition. Now TR increases initially at a decreasing rate. With increase in output, it reaches the maximum and remains constant for a while and starts falling. Now, why this happens? Let us just see this out here. Total revenue. So total revenue, you can see it out here. It is increasing previously. 20, 36. It is increasing. 48. Okay, 56, 60. It will remain constant. But again, now it will start falling down. Now, why it happens? You can see this from this uh, curve also. Okay, from this from this graph of TR. Okay, so this this upward sloping and the downward sloping curve. Okay, so it basically signifies your TR curve. Okay, so initially it increases. Okay, with increase in output, then it reaches its maximum point. Okay, and will remain constant for a while. Okay, and if you increase the number of the output that is sold, the more units of goods are sold. Okay, if more and more number of goods are sold, then TR will fall down. Okay, and remember that in this graph also, okay, even in the perfect competition, TR starts from the origin, signifying that TR can be 0 when the number of goods sold is 0. Okay, but TR can never be negative. Okay, now why this happens? Or why this TR, previously it increases, okay, at a decreasing rate. Okay, TR, it increases but at a decreasing rate. Okay, and again it will reach the maximum level. Okay, maximum point, and it will fall down. Why this happen? Why TR increases at a decreasing rate? Is this because of the uh, decreasing returns? No, it's not because of that. It is actually because of the feature of the imperfect competition market. Because in that imperfect competition, the firms are selling varieties of goods. Okay, the goods sold is not homogeneous but heterogeneous. Okay, so the consumers, they have options. Okay, they have different options to afford the goods that is sold. Okay, to purchase the goods that is available in the market by paying the different price levels. Okay, so if you have rupees 25,000, you can afford to purchase a good quality phone of Samsung. Okay, but at At the same time, you can go for a Realme or Xiaomi or Oppo, Vivo also. The price, it can be 18,000 or 20,000. Okay, you can save the money also, or you can invest the money for buying different goods. Okay, you can purchase the earpod. Okay, or you can invest your money. Okay, whatever area you want to invest. So in this market situation, when the firm wants to sell more and more, remember, when the firm wants to sell more and more number of goods, revenue generated, that is marginal revenue, it should be decreased. Okay, it should be diminishing. Okay, they must lower the price if they want to uh, maximize their sale volume. They must cut down the prices. Hence, in the imperfect competition situation, the firms, they have to follow the pricing strategy, that is specifically the skimming pricing strategy in the market. Because if they want to sell more and more units of goods in the market, they must cut down the price. That's why you must have seen in the real life situation that whenever a new phone is launched in the market, its price will be very high. Okay, let us say it is 18,999. After a month, you can see that the same phone is sold for rupees 15,999. Okay, and after 2 3 months, the price will cut down. Okay, you may say that, oh no, because of the launch of new mobile phones, the technology becomes outdated. Okay, and the firm can never sell the same kind of price. Sorry, same the firm cannot sell the same product at the same price level. Let me just give you one example, simple example. uh, I purchased a guitar, okay, or dreadnought guitar of Yamaha. Okay, the model number is F310. Okay, I purchased it for around 8,500 in the year 2017. But if you check the price level, it has remained same, but because of the imposition of the GST, its price is around 9,500 or somewhere around 9,000 or 9,500. Okay, so the price has remained constant. Why it is so? It is because, not because of the outdated technology. Okay, so the situation may not be similar to all types of goods. Okay, in some cases the price may fall down, but in some cases the price may go up. Okay, but normally, by theory, it must be noted that in an imperfect competition market situation, if the firm wants to maximize its sales volume, okay, or simply sale volume, the price must be cut down. They must follow the skimming price strategy. Okay, hence you can say that initially TR it increases. Maybe the guitar which I'm talking about, it's out here in this situation. Okay, that TR is increasing, but after a certain point of time, the price will fall down. It will obviously fall down. Okay, because even the products, they have the life cycle. Okay, anyway, now let us move on to AR. Now AR, it falls continuously with increase in output, because in an imperfect market situation, a firm must decrease its price to sell more level of output. Same thing. Okay, but remember that AR can never be zero or negative, because the price, it can never be zero or negative. It's a well-known fact. Okay, so AR, it falls continuously in an imperfect market situation, because with more and more number of goods that is sold in the market, the price level, the overall price level will be affected. Okay, hence AR is a downward sloping curve. Okay, so the same thing is applied with MR also. Same is applied to MR. But remember that MR, the falling rate of MR is double the AR. Okay, if AR is falling by 2, 4, 6, 8, then at the same time MR will fall by the rate of 4, 12, 16. Okay, so this way, I mean, it's the double of AR, the falling rate. You can refer to this table also, which is given for the monopoly situation. Okay, and monopoly is a market situation in which there is only one seller. Okay, and you may say that in a monopoly market, when there is only one seller, at that point, when this monopoly market, I mean the firm, is a price maker as well as the price taker, so he has the total control over the market. Okay, he can control the price, he can control the quantity to be supplied in the market, but still how the price it can be affected, we will see in the later chapter when we reach the market chapter. Okay, when I'll record the video. Okay, now MR, it falls continuously with increase in output. It becomes zero and negative also. Okay, as you can see out here. Okay, MR can be zero and can be negative also. And you must remember two things out here. Okay, that both TR and MR can be zero. Okay, how is that situation? TR can be zero when the number of goods sold is also zero. Okay, but MR can be zero when the TR is at its maximum point. Okay, but remember the second thing, AR and MR, they both are downward sloping. Okay, even you can see this TR is also a downward sloping curve, but AR, it can never be zero and negative. Okay, this average revenue. By average revenue, we mean the this one. You can refer to this chart. Okay, TR by Q, that is the total revenue earned by the firm divided by the total quantity of goods that is sold. So this AR, it may near the level of zero. Okay, it may come down to from 5, it may come down to 2 or 1 or maybe 0.5, but it can never be 0 and negative. Okay, remember this point. Okay, okay, so we have discussed the behavior of TR, AR, and MR under imperfect competition situation, and we can refer to this chart also. Okay, in correspondence to that, we have this graphs. Okay, this is your TR curve, this is your AR curve, and the MR curve. Now let us discuss their behavior. Okay, oh sorry, I mean the relationship. Sorry, behavior is already discussed out here. Okay, so now let us discuss the relationship between TR and MR under imperfect competition. Okay, when TR increases with increase in output, MR is positive over this range. So when TR is increasing, okay, when TR is increasing with increase in output till this range, okay, till this range, MR is positive. However, MR will fall down with number of goods that is sold, but MR will remain positive. Okay, and when TR is at its maximum, MR is 0. Okay, and when TR it falls down, MR becomes negative. Okay, so the same thing has been explained out here. When TR is maximum, MR is 0, and when TR falls with increase in output, it further, okay, it decreases, then MR will become 0. Okay, now The same relationship can also be explained from the behavior of MR as well. Okay, so when MR is positive, it is just the opposite way now. Okay, previously we are discussing about this TR. Okay, so this relationship was in point of view of the TR. Okay, in respect to TR, what happens to MR? Now the same relationship can be explained through the point of view of MR. So when MR is positive, 0 or negative, what happens to TR? So when MR is positive, TR increases with increase in output. This is the point number one. It's the same as it is. Okay. And when MR is 0, TR is at its maximum point. So when MR is 0, you can see that TR is at its maximum. Okay. And when MR becomes negative, here you can see that MR has become negative. Now the TR, it will fall down. Okay. Now what is the relationship between AR and MR under imperfect competition? Actually, the point number one and point number two, they are actually similar to each other. Okay, this point number two, it just advocates, it just supports point number one. Okay, so let me just start with point number one. MR is less than AR. Always remember that in an imperfect competition market, okay, imperfectly competitive market, AR is greater than MR. Okay, so you can say that MR is less than AR. Why it happens? Because when price is reduced to sell an extra unit of output, remember that in imperfect competition market situation, you must reduce the price level if you want to sell more and more unit of output. Okay, so when the price is reduced to sell an extra unit of output, price is not only reduced for the additional unit, but for all the units that is sold. Okay, the total revenue, it will be decreased. Therefore, MR is smaller than AR. So this situation is fixed for the firms under imperfect competition, and it should be noted that both AR and MR are downward sloping curve. But remember, MR can be 0 and negative, but AR can never be 0 and negative, because the average average price or the revenue, it can never be 0 or negative. Okay, and as I already said, that the falling rate of MR is twice as compared to AR. So if AR is falling by 1, 2, 3, 4, then MR will fall by 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, so the falling rate of MR is twice as compared to AR. If AR is falling by 10%, then MR will fall by 20%. If AR is falling by 30%, then MR will fall by 60%. Okay. Now, what is the significance of studying revenue curves? Number one, determination of equilibrium. We will see this chapter. When we reach chapter number 11, I think. 11. Yes. Sorry, chapter number 10. Sorry. Okay, that is the point number 10.42. Sorry, 4.2. Okay, we will discuss this MR and MC, how the firm will reach its equilibrium condition. Okay, under perfect competition market situation. Okay, so it is important to know how much a producer should produce so as to maximize the profit. So how much a producer should produce? So this solution is actually related to the central problems of an economy. Okay, how to produce and how much to produce. So how much to produce, this will be solved by this particular question. I mean, this study of the revenue curve. Okay, so we not only study the revenue curve but also the cost curve. So it is very, very much important from the point of view of a producer that how much he or she should produce so as to maximize the profit, because the main objective of the firm is to earn the profit or to maximize the profit. So when marginal revenue is equals to the marginal cost, we can say that a firm is in the equilibrium situation, and at this point of time the level of output will be determined. Okay, you can also try to understand this particular situation through the price mechanism also, that is the demand and the supply. Okay, but this condition, this equilibrium situation, we are understanding from the point of view of marginal revenue and the marginal cost. Okay, now point number 2, estimation of profits and losses. Okay, now a producer aims at maximizing his profits. We all know that. Okay, so a firm always tries to maximize the profit. Uh, Previous day it was 10, now today 20, tomorrow 30, day after 40, and then next day, 50, 60, 70, 80. So they just want to maximize the profit. And you must have noticed that in order to earn more and more profits, the firms are using cheap quality type of goods. Okay, they use the cheap raw materials. Okay, they provide you the low quality goods, and they give you the less quantity. Okay, because uh, in an imperfect competition market, a firm must reduce its price level so to sell more and more number of goods. So if a firm is selling more and more number of goods by providing the same quantity and quality with the reduced price level, how the firm can maximize the profit? So the firm, they uh, perform or they commit such kind of illegal things or unethical ways to approach the maximization of the profit. But however, it should be noted that loss is not inevitable. It can never be avoided. Okay, so in such a situation, a producer tries to reduce his loss. Okay, a firm is unable to earn the profit but facing loss. But can the firm afford to uh, face more and more losses in future days? No. No firm can afford to face the loss in the long run, isn't it? So the firm tries to reduce the level of loss that is incurred during this during their operational days. So the total amount of profit or the loss earned by the firm can be estimated from the difference between TR and TC. Okay, so if TR is greater than TC, then the firm will incur profit. But if TR is less than the TC, there will be loss. Okay, and if the firm wants to ascertain the price that is earned per unit of output, then they have to take out the difference between AR and AC. And similarly, if AR is more than AC, then there will be profit per unit of goods that is sold. But if AR is less than AC, then they will incur the loss per unit. Okay, so in the next lecture video, I will show you the numericals which is given in the page number 165 and 166. Okay, so there are 12 numericals, by the way. So I will try to show you at least 6 to 8 numericals. Okay, or if possible, I will record all these 12 numericals. Okay, maybe the video will be longer. So the PDF will be provided to you along with that. So if there is any kind of question, dear students, feel free to ask me. Okay, because if you don't ask me question, then I won't be able to understand that how much you have understood from these lecture videos. Okay,